There we go. It was Premiere.
Right.
It was
Yeah, makes sense.
yeah, it was
That
Premiere.
one does use that.
It was Premiere. Premiere was causing
Mm-hmm.
this. It was
Was
causing.
hogging the graphics card.
And I'll be honest, the 2070 is a very popular piece of tech,
Mm.
which is kind of crazy to imagine that after the
I
giant
mean,
video
it's
card.
among the few available, probably.
Yeah, it's just it's. I find it funny because like people really didn't think the 20 series was worth the effort. People like the 20 series
I mean,
didn't.
at the time, the prices were too high for it
Hmm. Does
when
that
it was
tie?
new.
Okay. Was it like 2019?
When was the 20
Because that's when
series
I got
developed?
my 2070.
Let's check. Date. 2018.
Okay, so I lucked out.
The
Yeah.
2070 regular released in October 2018.
Nice. Nice.
And let's see, what was its price at the start? It lists two different ones. One was 499, one was 599.
At least when I bought my 2070 Super, it was $499. So I paid five
Mm-hmm.
for it.
Yeah.
And I felt like that was reasonable because 9 times out of 10, that's close to what I've been paying for the 70
Mm-hmm.
70 version of cards whenever I do buy them. It's around 450 to 500 usually. So that didn't strike me as an odd
And
choice.
maybe with the 70 it wasn't that much of a price difference. Let's check because the higher end ones were definitely significantly different. Okay, the 1070 was on the Founders Edition 449, and the standard editions, it the earlier one was 379. So yeah, that was a price increase.
Yeah, okay, so the price had
Mm-hmm.
just gone up.
Yep, by a straight 100
Damn.
from the standard editions. And compared, it probably didn't have a. Let's see, did it have? There's only that one price there, so maybe it didn't have a Founders Edition, or at least not a separate price for it.
Huh.
Or was that or was. Or maybe the 599 was the Founders Edition? Let's check. Well, at least in comparison to the Founders Edition, let's say it's around a 50 up. But I think the higher editions were bigger in terms of the price difference. The 2080, let's see what was that? 699. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the standard for the 1080 was 599.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was a noticeable price difference, and in terms of regular speed, it wasn't that much of a difference. The the upscale in price was mainly due to the ray tracing.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. That's the
Mm.
primary thing I heard. And at the time, ray tracing wasn't really, at least at that point in time, it wasn't really there yet. It wasn't really.
Yeah,
It
it
wasn't.
was the first generation that had ray tracing,
Yeah.
so
So.
it's the performance was obviously not up there.
Yeah. The first generation of almost anything is very rarely ever, you know,
Hmm.
fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
But
And
I mean, that's
obviously,
what you get.
hardly any game even had it.
Yeah, but that's what you get when you early adopt, man. That's what you get when you early adopt. When you
Yeah.
jump in.
And that's why many people didn't go for the
I was
20
about
series.
I was about to say the 10 series was super popular for like
Yep.
I think the 10 series is still one of the highest percentage used cards on Steam. I think even now
I
still.
think the 1650 or 1660 or something like that is the most widespread
Yeah,
card,
that's what
I think.
I have the 1660 Ti in my mini PC
Mm-hmm.
back there. And
Yep.
that thing rips and tears through pretty much anything I want to do with it. Honestly, it's surprisingly powerful. I thought I might have made a
Mm.
sacrifice on power. Turns out I really didn't for the things I play on it.
Yeah.
I can crank.
As long as you're still on full HD, that's usually enough for most things.
Yeah, it rips and tears through like basically like most of the higher end emulators I want to run on it. I
Mm-hmm.
don't see any frame drops ever. No performance hiccups, no slowdowns. The thing's a beast. So, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So a couple things
Yeah.
happened this week, CD. Couple things.
Oh, really?
Couple things. I
Mm-hmm.
got one thing. This right here. Let me unplug it real quick.
Mm-hmm.
This bad boy right here. This not the
Uh-huh.
game isn't the game is not it. This little bad boy, the GB operator. It is a
Mm-hmm.
cart dumper slash save dumper slash save uploader. So
Is, was
backs
that the
up.
one for the Steam Deck?
Oh, people have been using it with the Steam Deck, yeah, but it's not
Mm-hmm.
for the Steam Deck specifically. um, it had a feature. I bought it because of the backup features and the save features, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
among other things. But it had a feature on it that when I read it on their website, I was skeptical of because a lot of devices
Mm-hmm.
have claimed it, but I didn't think like I hadn't seen a device. A lot of devices have like okay, the feature was it could detect bootleg carts.
Oh, okay.
Now, a lot of devices that do that don't do it
Mm-hmm.
aren't advertised. It's more of a consequence of what they do and then
Mm-hmm.
they're able to identify it that way. So like if you can't so like certain features just won't work if it's a bootleg cart. So it by default would
Mm-hmm.
be able to find it. This just says outright if you plug a bootleg
Mm-hmm.
cart into it, you'll know.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be
Interesting.
honest, I was skeptical. I
Mm-hmm.
was skeptical. Anytime someone claims they can just identify something fake, I'm like, really now?
Mm-hmm.
So I have two fake cards. Two.
Mm-hmm.
I have two. I plugged them both into this, and it identified them both. And the thing is, I know they're fake. I know they're fake. I've
Mm-hmm.
opened them, so I knew for a fact they were fake. I was very
Okay.
surprised when I plugged them in, and it identified them both as non-legitimate cartridges. I was like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
well, shit. Congratulations. You passed the sniff test. Not sure how you guys did it. Not sure what kind of black box technology you guys used to figure this one out. Cause like
That's a good question. I mean, I don't exactly know how with those cards the
I
that is done, but
I think I think I think they're doing
mm-hmm.
some. I think it's something as easy as like right because one of the big things the fake carts do differently is how they handle saves. They
Mm-hmm.
handle saves in a really weird way. So
Uh-huh.
I think what they're doing is I think they're writing a really small amount of data to the save
Uh-huh.
RAM, like a really small amount of data, and then
Mm-hmm.
checking to see how it reacts to that small amount of
Mm.
data, looking for a particular check or looking for some kind of reaction from the cart.
Mm.
And if it
Okay.
reacts in one way, it's real. If it reacts in another way, it's fake. I think that's what they're doing. Either that
Mm-hmm.
or they're checking to see whether or not the actual save RAM is the same. One of the two.
Mm-hmm.
Because Nintendo does all kinds of weird shit with their
Mm-hmm.
with their stuff, as I'm sure you could probably imagine. Nintendo is Nintendo, so I wouldn't put it.
Yep.
I wouldn't put it by them at all. So that's
I mean, I do remember they had some very specific protection for their original Game Boy in terms of what the cards were, how they were verified.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
a very special timing with the way the logo comes down and the sound plays.
yeah, yeah, all that kind of thing. Nintendo,
Mm.
Nintendo, at the very least, had some really, really weird ways of making sure that either the hardware it's being played on is legitimate or the game is
Mm-hmm.
legitimate. One of
Yeah.
the two. Um, I've also been playing more with my deck, as I've mentioned
Mm-hmm.
in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
I've mentioned it. Mm, mm. More Tales of Arise. That's been a treat. Looking forward to
Thank you.
picking up another game that came out. I think it came out this week. I watched Maximilian stream a decent amount of it, and I'm like, oh, that looks fun. Hi-Fi Rush.
Ah, right, that one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I watched him play
That
it.
one was the one that was shadow dropped at the Microsoft Direct. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had no idea about dude. He's just
Mm-hmm.
streaming it one day. I'm like, wait a minute, what the fuck is this game? This
Mm-hmm.
rhythm-based action game. This shit looks dope. So
Yep.
my first thing is like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Let me look this up real quick. Where can I play this? Everybody on Twitter's like, oh, it's Xbox exclusive. I'm like, so it's on the Steam Deck. Is what you're telling me. I see. So it's on the Steam Deck, so I can play this game. Aha. It's Xbox exclusive, you say? Well, then I'll play it on the deck. It's
Yeah,
not.
I did watch that video from Max after he after that happened from on the VOD. I watched that, and then that started playing, and then it showed from the makers of Evil Within. Seriously.
Yeah, you wouldn't know it,
Yeah.
would you? You really wouldn't. You wouldn't have guessed. It wouldn't have been my first, second, or third guess. I'm gonna keep it 100% with you. Not my first, second, or third guess. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick that up probably this Tuesday. Probably. I really want to play it. It looks really fun, and I'm gonna play it on the deck. So I'll probably give that a run. I also put I modified the deck a little bit by using something called Decky Loader.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard of that. That's something that loads plugins.
Yeah, it does
and such,
plugins.
right?
Yeah.
So what did you add?
One of the things I added was Proton badges to games. So now it shows Proton badges based on.
So you know which version of Proton you to use.
Yeah, and how Proton and how the game is currently rated on Proton to work. Because my bigger problem has been I don't always trust the Steam page itself.
Yeah,
because
because Steam verification is different from that Proton rating.
Like for instance, Trails in the Sky is unsupported, but it plays just fine.
Yeah.
So obviously,
yeah. I mean, unsupported doesn't mean it doesn't play, but just that they don't support it specifically. But yep. The only issue I had when I tried that out originally, when my Steam Deck was new, was that the video, the cutscene, didn't play right. It played, but I think it was too slow or something, so audio and video weren't in sync.
Okay. I messed around. I was checking out some other themes and stuff for the deck itself, and then I'm also gonna mess around with some of the audio stuff that they let you do for it. So I kind of wanted to mess with that a bit, but for the most part, I spent most of my last night just playing Tales of Arise, getting to the first boss, and watching that boss fight play out. That was some bombastic ass shit. Holy shit. Alphen, you might not feel.
Which one was the first one? Was that the The big guy?
Yeah, the big guy, big dude with an axe.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
remember
a
him.
giant fire monster gets summoned during the fight, incidentally,
Right.
and he's just as confused as he's like halfway as confused as we are. Because I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this shit? I didn't do that. The fuck you doing?
Don't look at me. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, like that's not cool. Yeah, that shit was bombastic as
literally.
that shit was bombastic as fuck. I was like, damn game, okay, shit, we in here then.
Yeah.
I messed around with some of the controls a little bit, mostly just buttons, a few buttons. I had to switch a few buttons around to make it more comfortable. Like having dodge and my normal attack on separate sides, because having them on the same side doesn't work for me for whatever. My brain can't process that. It's separate sides. It works way better. And then I got access to the demon thing, and I'm like, well, my playstyle's back, everybody. I can play the game again. Fantastic. My core game plan. Demon thing at a distance, mallywop you up close, dodge all the time. I never fail. Okay, I take that back. He beat me once. He beat that second phase of the boss fight. He did beat me once. I underestimated just how hard he hit. He hits really hard. Holy crap.
That thing? I'm surprised.
Yeah, he hits really
Who would have guessed that?
He hits really hard. I think that's... Oh! No, I'll mention that next week. I'm saving that for next week.
Alright.
But yeah, that's it, man. That's it.
Alrighty. For me, it was a relatively casual week in terms of gaming because I had quite a bit to do for work. So I mainly continued a bit with Grim Dawn, just shooting up monsters and doing that, which in the expansion of Grim Dawn that I haven't played before, that one so far, the theme is more deserty, and the monsters partially also show that because there's also giant scorpions and all kinds of other beasts, which, yep, decent. Found some decent items, finally reached level 50 there with that character, so I found my first purple item, which is neat. It's glowing boots. Glowing, I think, because mainly because they're quite hot on the bottom from the way they look. They have decent stats, so that was a nice find. Besides that, on the weekend, I just tried out a few older titles that I haven't played before for the Game Gear on the deck, obviously, which... Let's have a look at the list so I get that right.
While you're doing that, can I just say, sometimes IGN reviews can be fucking savage.
Oh, really?
Oh my god.
Can they?
Oh my god. Oh my god. My guy, listen. The IGN review for Forspoken was fucking savage. Dude. I did not know IGN had it in them. They just shit kicked this game. The entire review. I was like, damn. They're like the dialogue's lame. The combat the combat's kind of interesting, but the world you're playing is fucking lame. The relationship between the characters are lame. I'm like, oh my god. Oh my god.
I know, sounds great, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh boy, yeah, that game came out and it pretty much was, and the crowd gold mild.
Yeah, I was curious because I know Max had played the demo, but I never actually followed through and looked up how he felt about the demo. So I was expecting him to play it at launch, so I checked his stream VODs. I thought maybe I missed it. And I didn't. It just wasn't there. He just didn't play. He just didn't play it. So,
from what I remember, he thought the combat was decent, but the rest I think he didn't especially like or didn't seem especially good, but yeah, so it probably wasn't on his priority list,
No, really wasn't. Don't blame him.
especially after Hi-Fi Rush
Oh,
dropped.
yeah, no, I don't blame
That
him.
probably pretty much annihilated all chances for Spoken ever had to be
Yeah,
looked at for him.
basically.
Mm. So, going by the list, at first I tried out the Addams Family game on that,
Oh, okay.
and as one would expect, that one's pretty terrible. Game design wise, it has what some other bad games have. It's called no iframes.
Oh
So you
no.
touch an enemy and your health bar goes.
Oh no, you don't get the blinking
Yeah.
You don't get the blinking invincibility.
Nope.
Oh god.
Yep.
Ah.
Yeah. Controls are also not that great, but not especially bad either. But jumping and all is a bit. And thanks to that, thanks to the damage design, yeah, you have to be very careful. And it's not just enemies that hurt you. There are in one of the rooms that you go into, there are moving bones that are essentially platforms. And when they touch you, they hurt. So when you enter the room, they move left, right, and just where you're standing. So if you just stay there, you get instantly hurt.
Yeah.
And another one of the rooms was also great. It just drops you into a room full of spike platforms,
Ah.
and if you try again and then manage to avoid them, the whole bottom is also spikes. So that's a great room.
Ah, fantastic. I love it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you have what was it? I think around 5 lives, and then it's game over. No continues. So
Ah.
cool.
Ah.
Yeah. Fantastic game.
Classic game design. Got it.
Yep.
How much
Yeah.
how much
So
was this at launch? $60? You paid $50, $60 for this experience? Probably.
probably full price. Yeah.
Yeah,
Probably.
$60.
And yeah, counting it in today's money, it was probably more. But let's see, Game Gear game prices. Because those were obviously a bit cheaper than other games, but probably by current standards, not that cheap. Let's see if it shows here. Okay, 25 to $30. That was the initial range. So that's probably, yeah, that's probably good for 50 to 60 currently. Yeah.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. I love it.
Yeah.
I want more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now went down the list. Next one was Aerial Assault. That was a middling shooter, side-scrolling, where you pilot a sort of a plane, but the areas that you go through vary, so it's more a mix of a plane spacecraft. A bit weird given the way it starts. It shows it being a plane, but you definitely don't stay on Earth.
Huh.
That's kind of weird.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Next one, definitely a better one. That was Game Gear Aleste, which what was the other name for those games? Power Strike, the games by Compile, which were definitely nice. That's pretty speedy shmup. You go from top, bottom to top. So, and that one is for a game on the Game Gear. It's pretty fast and has quite a few sprites. So they did well on that one.
Huh.
That one I'm definitely gonna keep playing. Then there's one that was this one you'd probably not expect on there, Mega Man.
Ah.
Not made by Capcom themselves, but made by US Gold in or Capcom. Pretty decent. I played the first level and beat what was it, Rockman.
Okay.
Ironically.
Yeah, I don't know. They called the first boss Rockman.
Yeah, one of them. I mean, one of the four that you get to choose from. One
Oh.
of them was Rockman. Which, yeah, if you know the original name for
I was
Mega
gonna
Man,
ask.
yeah.
I was gonna be like, do they know? They didn't know, did they? They were just like, yeah, it's fine. His name is Mega Man. We'll call this guy Rockman. No one's gonna know the difference.
I mean,
Kids don't have
did the
Kids don't have
other
internet yet.
did the other games? I mean, they probably also had Rockman in there somewhere, didn't they?
I'd imagine probably like the non-Japanese games. 'Cause that just sounds really weird if your game is called Rockman.
Uh-huh.
And then one of the first bosses you fight in a Mega Man game is the titular Rockman, but not the titular Rockman.
Yeah. Here on the wiki is called Stone Man. Wait, was it Stone Man?
Yeah, Stone Man would make more sense.
Yeah, that's.
I would.
Yeah, maybe I was misremembering it, or was it maybe?
Because it being called Rockman instantly.
Yeah, that would be weird, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'm sitting here like Rockman. Ah, that's a interesting choice for a boss name.
Maybe I just misremembered and got that wire crossed there. But yeah, but even Stone Man is kind of because he does I mean, depending on how you look at the sprite, it's kind of looks like he's made out of stones. You don't really see out of rocks. I mean, you don't really see stones there, but yeah, well, he should be called Brickman, honestly.
Hey,
the way
man,
he looks.
It's important to remember, CD. I need you to really ride this train with me for a few seconds. The original Mega Man series had something like 12 games. They had to be really careful what names they gave each of these bosses, because maybe they didn't know at the time, but they were gonna be running out of names really quickly by like Mega Man 9. And I like Mega Man 9. Like, Mega Man 9 is a fucking fantastic video game. But even I sit there and look at Capcom and go like, y'all really stretched out this idea for 9 fucking video games and you still haven't overlapped. But by the time you get to like Mega Man like 12, it's like Sheep Man, Pillow Man,
yeah.
Spoon Man,
Flower
like,
Man,
yeah,
or something.
like,
I think they had a Clown Man. Did they also
yeah,
have that one?
probably. I wouldn't put it by him.
Yeah, I think Max would appreciate the weapon Stone Man uses. It's Power Stone.
Oh, he'd love that.
Yeah. So yeah, I played the first level of that. Most of the parts were quite decent. Wasn't an especially hard level there. The boss itself, since obviously I didn't have any other weapons, it was just pretty much a grind. Avoiding him, his jumping around and shooting at him, because he didn't have any projectile weapons. He just jumped around in either smaller jumps or one big jump, where afterwards he went into a crouching pose and was invincible in that. So yeah, it was a lot of avoiding.
Yeah.
Then I had a short look at Micro Machines on there. First level was pretty easy, so no trouble there at all. Second level, I didn't. I had only a short look in, and the vehicles you get there go way faster. So that one you have to be way more careful at. And then I tried out Pango, which is a sort of a puzzle action game where you're in a labyrinth and you have to use the ice blocks that make up the walls to crush aliens, which are sort of like blobs, and you have to obviously avoid getting hit by them. And there are a few ice blocks that are essentially indestructible, but the regular ice blocks you can use once. Essentially, after they hit the enemy, they disappear. You have to beat enough of them to clear the levels. That's a pretty decent one. And then the last one was I tried out Streets of Rage on there, which, yeah. Yet, you have only a selection of not Max, Axel and Blaze, the two of the characters. I chose Blaze. She's well, I kind of like that character more, this character design wise, and I generally like the a bit faster characters. And I think in comparison to the original, obviously it's not quite as great looking, great sounding, and action is not as good, but it's quite a decent version of the game, I'd say, so far. I've played the first level. It's relatively easy, obviously the first level, but the timer is pretty strict in the first level up to the boss, because I was at around, how many? I had less than 10 seconds left.
Oh god.
On the timer. And on 10, I think it starts doing an alarm noise. So I had just about a few seconds left until the boss, when the boss appeared, and thankfully when the boss appears, it resets the timer to 50.
Oh.
So then afterwards, that was relatively easy then.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's obviously your moveset is pretty limited since you only have 2 buttons on the Game Gear.
I'd imagine.
But it works so far.
All right, good stuff.
Mm-hmm. That was a pretty fun tryout run there.
You know, I get to talk about Blizzard today. I get to talk about Blizzard today. I really
it's been
wish,
a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, I really wish I got that. I really wish I got to talk about Blizzard in better context,
in a more positive way.
Yeah, like, hey, we're gonna actually make Warcraft 3, the Warcraft 3 remaster, actually good now, and we're gonna dedicate a sizable amount of our development staff to following through with the promises that we made about the game pre-launch. But I just have to come to accept that that's never gonna I'm never gonna see that. So,
I mean, didn't Bellier say something about them doing something with Warcraft 3?
I mean, they're doing stuff to it. I don't know if they're.
Yeah, I haven't heard. I don't remember any details, but there's rumors floating around, I think, there, but there is something there.
Yeah,
that maybe will happen, but we'll have to wait and see on that.
So, Blizzard fires WoW Classic lead after he protests evaluation policy. So Brian Birmingham was the lead of the WoW Classic, refused to give an employee a low evaluation in order to meet a quota. In Blizzard, quota by Blizzard in 2021, the process is called stack ranking. It requires management to give about 5% of their employees a low performance evaluation to fit the bell curve of relative performance. Okay. 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 Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Evaluation stuff
Let
like
me
that
let
is
me
bullshit.
let me just say, right? I think the media has been focusing on the wrong part of this story.
Mm-hmm.
CD, listen, I need you to really strap in for this one because I might go off the rails on this one.
Go ahead.
Okay. Everybody is talking like that 5% is like that about the 5% that get fucked, right? I ain't thinking about them though. My problem is if you fucking over 5%, right? I'm gonna take it that 95% probably has a solid 30% of actual garbage employees. Actual garbage employees. Cause you're mandatory supposed to give 5%, but I feel like of any group of working individuals, at least 30 of them are trash. So you already have a built-in 5% that you can shit. Like, you don't have to shit on the good ones. Like, what the hell? Because my thing is like, okay, you have to pick 5% of your staff to just lowball, just outright lie about. Because let's be real, they lying. Like, he admits he's lying.
It's a mandatory quota, so obviously that's at least a few of them are not gonna be ranked fairly.
Yeah. So there's gonna be employees that don't deserve good rankings who get good rankings. I'm gonna say a lot of employees who don't deserve good ranking are gonna get good rankings because if this is a mandatory only 5%, like
the problem is also yes, you can say 30% are gonna be shit, but not all of those are gonna be in the same area of a manager. Not each manager is gonna have some of those 30%. So this team has, for example, 10 people. Another team has 10 people. So those 30% might all be in that one team. So 6 might be trash, and the other one wouldn't have any trash.
Right.
But they still have to give 5% of that team
5%.
bad rating. So
yeah, I'm looking at
that's just shit.
I'm just looking at like just the 5% generally over over like an entire company. Like 5%. Like, I'm gonna keep it real. I don't know. Maybe like I've worked a lot of jobs in my day. I personally think that the percentage of people that I have felt throughout the years who did not contribute as much as everyone else was higher than 5%. So I personally find this to be a bit galling that Blizzard's like, well, you're gonna have to tank a couple of people because just to point it out, that 5% who get that low review, they get fucked. Like, yeah, they're not gonna lose their job over like a single bad review because again, next review period, it's unlikely the same people. I mean, could you imagine? Could you imagine, like, rolling the dice that fucking hard, that fucking badly, multiple review periods, and being in that 5%? Dude, I'd be, bruh, that would piss me off so much. Especially if the employees know that the employees must know that this 5% thing's a thing. They gotta know.
Yep.
Because, like,
quite likely, yeah.
Because like
I think if you get into that category multiple times and it's nothing really bad happening out of it, because from what I've heard, they get less of a bonus. Mostly. So if besides that, it doesn't affect it as much. At that point, probably some employees that get that rating multiple times just say, fuck it, I'm just gonna keep coasting and do what I have to do and nothing more.
Yeah, why? So, because you ain't gonna work hard.
Won't bother me. Yeah.
Yeah,
as long as it pays enough.
Yeah, you're not gonna like go above and beyond if the company's just gonna arbitrarily shit cake you every fucking review period. Fuck that noise. You gonna do what you gotta do. And that's it. That's all you gonna do. You're not gonna work extra hard. Fuck that. I'm not gonna fucking break my back and then get fucked over by an arbitrary fucking dice roll, a D100, so to speak. A D100, so to speak. Like that's
Yeah.
bro, that would be so trash.
Mm.
I
Yep.
hope that
Company-wide, they really shouldn't have a problem meeting the quota overall, but doing that per management team is just arbitrary and just hurts the company itself.
Blizzard spokesperson told Bloomberg that the evaluation process is designed to create excellence in performance and ensure employees
And
who
bullshit.
don't meet performance expectations receive their honest feedback, differentiated
Mm-hmm.
compensation, and a plan to how Okay, but
Yeah, mandatory quota and honest feedback, I'm calling bullshit.
yeah, no, if it's
That does not work together.
yeah, if it's a mandatory quota, you're going to have a percentage of team leads who are going to say, okay, but my team is doing a good job. I don't
Yeah.
need to rank any of them low. And like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, sure, maybe you could twist the arm of a team lead and be like, all right, well, who's your weakest? Well,
Mm-hmm.
weakest isn't always bad, right? Like,
Yeah, it's always relative.
yeah, like saying Dave over there is my weakest member. Okay, what does that mean though? Because weakest might just mean he's not he has a little bit of trouble in like this one particular area, but he could do the job, and it doesn't require me to like fucking shit can his fucking bonus over it. Like I'm not gonna do that to him. Like he shows up to work every single day. He's on time. If I need him a few days a week to stay a little late, he stays late. He ticks every fucking box. Like I don't need to fucking shit can him, but when you make this,
if the rest of the team is in the top 40% and he's in the top 50%, he's the weakest of the team, but he's still in the top 50 of the company. So, yeah.
Yeah, like I don't. The thing is, I don't. So to Brian's credit, he had basically ignored this policy for quite a while, which I think is pretty funny. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
To just ignore corporate policy for as long as he did, like he just didn't fill in the boxes. He just didn't follow through with it. He's like, nah, dog, I'm just not gonna do it. They're gonna have to twist my arm and tear that bitch the fuck off before I do this. Like to his credit, to his credit, I found that part to be slightly amusing, to where he's like, oh yeah, no, I just didn't fill in the boxes. I didn't respond to emails. I just fucking ignored it. So basically he went to like the higher ups. He goes, I'm not doing this fucking ridiculousness. And if you're going, no, he sent an email. He sent a company wide email saying, I'm not doing this, and I'm not going to work until you reverse this. And then the company was like, oh really? Well, GTFO. So
yeah, guess you're not going to work. You're right.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Not for us anymore.
Yeah, you're not. I guess you're not working then, are you? Which, I don't necessarily like. I just find this entire idea to be kind of absurd, because if it's mandatory at 5% across the company, or even across team leads, it's still across the company, right?
Overall, it's gonna be across the company.
Yeah,
5%. When each team has 5%, then you can't put that all together. It's gonna be a 5% overall.
Yeah, 5% across the company of people who are just going to eat shit. Right? They're just gonna eat shit. You're gonna have people. I think what you're gonna have more likely though is you're gonna have middle of the road employees eat shit. So people who they're all right. They don't. Maybe they're not. Maybe they don't excel. Right. You're gonna have maybe a few slightly higher than average people who are going to eat shit. And then maybe once in a while you're gonna have the actual shit can employees get shit canned. Like, you know what I mean? But the thing is, at 5% and it's mandatory, I have my doubts that you're going to necessarily have it play out toward the people who actually deserve to get the shit can are gonna get the shit can. They're not. They're not gonna get it. They're gonna skate. They're gonna fucking skate. So I don't really. I personally like the fact that it's mandatory is already bad enough, but
So getting rid of him, yeah, that's cutting off your nose to spite your face.
Yeah, because, like, what does getting rid of him do? What have you
Mm,
accomplished? You've accomplished nothing.
yeah.
All you've done now is just fucking demoralize an entire team of people now.
Mm-hmm.
Cause
Yeah.
what? Like, oh
I mean,
cool.
given the state of WoW Classic, I suppose he did a decent enough job. So,
Cool. So you shit can this guy. Congratulations. You've demoralized an entire section of the company because he chose to
mm,
do the right fucking thing.
yeah.
Congratulations, Blizzard. You've really helped the morale. Congrats. Really did good work there.
Yeah, it did really great.
Fantastic work. And for those of you thinking that this is purely just a Blizzard move, no, according to him, this is from the ABK level, so the Activision Blizzard
Mm-hmm.
King. So this is well above Mike Ybarra, who was at the
Mm-hmm.
top of Blizzard.
Yeah. This is
This
really company wide, so the whole company.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this is
Which doesn't
not.
surprise me. But
Yeah.
this is also nothing especially specific to them. I'm pretty sure quite a few companies still do this.
I really wish I could get in that fucking mindset. I can't wrap my head around it. I'm sorry to say. I want
Yeah.
to. I'd like to try to understand. I'd like to be understanding and at least have a perspective. But I don't have a perspective on potentially just shitting on reasonably decent or good employees
Mm-hmm.
all because you rolled a D100 and they just so happened to lose the gamble. I don't see the benefit here.
Mm-hmm.
But CD, while Blizzard might be terrible, there's one thing slightly worse than Blizzard, and that is a cheater.
Yeah.
So CD, I'm gonna let you handle this one because I didn't even know this story was a thing until this morning when you
Mm-hmm.
sent it to me. So,
Alrighty.
but
Well,
I saw Carl Jobs
mm-hmm.
and the video in the for the video
Mm-hmm.
name, so I was instantly like, oh no, we have to now. I need to know.
Yeah. I mean, you know, speedrunning is a thing. You also know Minecraft speedrunning is a thing.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
because we had, I think in the past, talked about Dream,
Yeah.
but this one doesn't concern him, but another speedrunner called Minecravenger,
Okay.
who I'm not sure if he held the speedrun record current before this came out, especially, but he was pretty high up there. And well, turns out he cheated quite a bit. From what I've seen, last end of last year he was found out to have been cheating, or his speedrun was cut because someone noticed something. But apparently it went even deeper than that. Because
Cool.
there were things in there that no one noticed.
Oh dear.
Yeah. And I don't know all the pieces off the top of my head that were shown in the video, but there were multiples that showed splicing of video.
I talked
So,
about Splice when we talked
mm-hmm,
about that Metal Gear Revengeance speed run that got
mm-hmm.
cheated. Yeah.
Yeah, but this one was something like that, that he took several runs and spliced them together.
Ah.
And well, they could have found out a few things apparently, but not all of them if they had looked closer, because in some of the videos there was, for example, something like um there were two entries of an advancement or achievement or whatever it's called there shown, and one of them had a wrong background color because he spliced that in there from the previous part.
Ah.
And on another part where I think where he it was, I think, a part where he had to make a portal, um, and where he was dropping down into an area, and the video showed the text of Obsidian, but at that point he hadn't selected an item, or he hadn't changed his item selection. So that was there wrongly. It only could have been because he spliced the video from another run where he had the item selection, or where he just loaded a save game. Because that apparently loading the save game at the beginning shows your item selection. I think it was like that. And yeah, that. And there were also some other things like I think he modified the speed of charging the dragon. And what was it? The other thing was, I think, where he modified the likelihood of was it coal or something dropping from certain blocks that he needed a specific amount from.
Okay.
So
All right.
yeah.
Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Uh-huh.
I want you to really ride with me on this one for a second.
Okay.
I'm about to have me a moment.
All right.
Imagine you are good at video games. I mean, you are, but imagine you're really good at video games. All right.
Okay.
And for whatever reason, your brain shuts off for a undisclosed amount of time, and you decide you're going to cheat to get some credibility. If you're going to spend that
happens more often than than you think, apparently.
Yeah. If you're going to cheat, wouldn't you like really want to make sure that you don't destroy your credibility and get caught?
I mean, I'd try to make sure as well as possible to not get found out. Yeah.
Because I feel like some of this stuff could have been figured out. See, I know why. Okay, I know why this happens. I know why they get caught like this, right? Because these speed runs are like multiple hours, right? And like, it's one thing for me to like quickly scrub through a 50-minute video, right? Or even just like rewatch a 50-minute video. Like it's an hour, right? That's nothing. You're talking about a 3, 4, 5 hour run, or however long this run was.
Should be around 5 hours.
Yeah, all right. At 5 hours,
like that, I think.
At 5 hours, yeah, okay. Like, I don't want to like forgive him, but that's a lot to scrub through. You know what I mean? Like I make editing mistakes on a 30-minute video, and even I feel dumb after doing it.
Yeah.
He's making editing mistakes on a 5-minute hack job, on a 5-hour hack job. Gonna keep it real with you.
Yeah.
I'm honestly more I don't want to say I'm like, I'm surprised. Yeah, no, I'll say it, surprised, because at that point, if you're dedicating that much effort into splicing this shit together, to doing all these runs, being proficient at video editing, because you're not going to be able to pull this off unless you have at least a little bit of video editing chops. Obviously not too much chops, because he got caught. So clearly, the amount of chops he has is questionable at best.
There are certain limits to it.
Yeah, like you could do a lot, but you can't.
Yeah.
Like the audio thing, that's always going to be there, and people can pull that. People can pull up the audio waves pretty easily. So when there's massive just periods of time when there's just no audio, or if a song, Minecraft doesn't really have music, but it does have sort of a ambiance theme going to it.
Yeah, there's probably a background music track. If that one is choppy in certain points, that can be noticed. but obviously you can fix that by just turning it off.
Yeah, but
So
that just brings up more questions. Like, why isn't there audio? Like, I don't think you wouldn't do that just because that would just raise more.
completely, yes. But just the music or the ambience, yeah.
Yeah, I
I
just
don't
don't.
know. I don't think that would really in something like Minecraft. I don't think that would really be a problem because you could explain that even in terms of I wanted to have that gone because I have to listen to the sound effects,
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's
stuff
fair.
like that.
I don't know. I
But
don't know, man.
yeah, but in general, I agree. If there's background music and stuff like that, or if there are sounds, then even those could be, even that can be noticed if it's hacked up too much. But yeah,
I don't know, man. I
but yeah, with a
this
5 hour or even longer video, that's definitely gonna be difficult to find out everything.
well, yeah, one, it's difficult for people to like scrub through
Mm-hmm.
it and find these errors. And
Yeah.
two, I'm not even looking at them. I'm looking at like
Mm-hmm.
the fucking guy that did it. Like I'm like, damn,
Yeah.
you went through hours and hours and hours of effort to put this together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. In November, there was a VOD of 37 minutes where he got banned from speedrun.com because apparently impossible chests and too good obsidian rates. So yeah,
Too good. Oh, right,
that's.
probabilities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, like I'll keep it real with you. Every time I see
Mm-hmm.
stories like this,
Mm-hmm.
the first thing that comes to my mind is all these dudes just happen to be able to pull off a video editing hack job like this because they all like so many of them do it. So my thing is, if you
Mm-hmm.
have talent, because so many of them give the excuse of I got lazy and
Mm-hmm.
the amount of time it was going to take me to like actually perfect this run would have taken me too long. Well, then
Mm-hmm.
don't do it, nigga. Like that's simple. Like just don't do it. Like this is
Mm-hmm.
easy. This isn't difficult. This isn't complicated. Just don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Cause like I don't see the benefit. All you've done now is made yourself look bad. Like you haven't
Yep.
accomplished anything. All you've
Mm-hmm.
done is all you've shown is that now the people now have to be really, 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 really careful with runs that they check over because
Mm-hmm.
obviously, and like I said before, bro, I have trouble catching every single little mistake or like edit I have to make in a 50-minute video, dude. A 50-minute
Mm.
video, and I fuck that up some days. He's working with 5 hours, my guy. Listen,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at least 5 hours.
bro,
Could might be even more, but yeah. Mm-hmm.
I would die. 5 hours, dude.
Uh-huh.
Every time I turn on YouTube and I see a video essay that's 7 hours long, the first thought in my mind was, yeah, no,
Mm-hmm.
fuck that. That no, like. Part of me is like, bro, I can do that, and then the other part of me is like, nah, fuck that. I don't even want to. That's not even like.
Yeah.
This seems like fucking torture. But I do have to say though, the amount of ways you can cheat in Minecraft is it's actually kind of like amazing. Like you can
Mm-hmm.
change the probability of like certain items happening, and
Yeah.
they people in like the community could just figure that shit out. Cause like my thing is like I get it. You're looking at like okay, he gets like so much of an item really quickly at the start of his run,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you're like,
Yep.
all right, there's a difference between like good luck, right? Like good
Mm-hmm.
luck's over here and like homeboy cheating over here. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
homeboy's cheating. I just oh man. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming he was banned and never allowed back.
Yeah. I'm not sure about the never allowed back, but
At least not at least not back
yeah,
around Minecraft. Not on whatever community
potentially.
he's in. I'd imagine.
Potentially.
I wouldn't want him fucking back.
I think what was mentioned in the Carl Jobst video was something about someone working on a client that is going to be used to verify stuff in terms of the randomization and all. So there's apparently gonna be some way to verify what your what your instance of Minecraft has in terms of probabilities. So that would
Oh.
help in detecting the probabilities if they were changed.
Yeah, no, I like that.
Mhm.
That's dope. Yeah.
Yep.
I like that.
If they're gonna do that, then that would be definitely a good improvement there
Yeah.
to eliminate that option of cheating.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Good move.
Mhm.
Good fucking move. So we're at like an hour, and I wanted
Mhm.
to like ask you something, right? Me
Mhm.
and Soul had this conversation during one of the episodes that he was on. I kind of wanted your
Mhm.
take on it. So we were talking about
Alright.
like why I don't like why I have a hard time getting into like gotcha kind of things, you know, like
Mhm.
gotcha games and
Mhm.
that kind of shit, right? Because I'm like I just
Mhm.
can't really get into it. But then I'm like those games don't appeal like that. That mechanic doesn't appeal to me. But I'm like, but
Mhm.
that doesn't even parse for me, right? Because I grew up buying Pokemon booster packs, right?
Yeah.
You know, I
That's
bought
essentially
like
physical gacha.
right.
Yeah.
I grew up buying way
Uh-huh.
too many Magic the Gathering booster packs. Like let me just say CD, let me
Mhm.
just say way too many. Too
Mhm.
many. All right. That
Yeah.
there's a hobby, there's an addiction. That was an addiction.
Mhm.
But like I'm sitting here and I'm like I don't get it. Because like obviously I'm not immune to the notion of
Mhm.
opening up a pack and getting something in it. Like that doesn't necessarily turn me away, right?
Mhm.
But when like 90% of these
Hmm.
games that have that kind of mechanic, I have no
Mhm.
I'm like I'm not really interested. I don't really get it cuz like
Thing
obvi-
is, would you be interested in the games if they didn't have that? If they had other ways to acquire the characters? Because I think that's the important bit. For example,
um
Genshin Impact. If you would be interested in it, if you had the characters unlockable through different means instead of the random drops, or
it
I don't
that
know what's a popular mobile one, Azure Lane,
yeah, it would depend on
the ship
the
girls and
means.
stuff like
Depends
that.
on the means
Mm-hmm.
of which you got them. I'll say
Yeah.
that. That would
Mm-hmm.
it would depend on the characters, right? So
Mm-hmm.
do I what characters I find appealing for me,
Mm-hmm.
and like how I had to get them because
Mm-hmm.
a great
Yeah.
example of a game that did not endear me
Mm-hmm.
to getting
Mm-hmm.
characters, and it wasn't even a gotcha game, was like earlier
Is
league.
Xenoblade 2?
I have not.
League. Okay.
I have not played
Uh-huh.
Xenoblade 2. I want to. I just
Ah,
haven't.
right.
So
Mm-hmm. Right.
I don't want to sully
Mm-hmm.
my brain on that. I want to walk into that
Yeah,
with,
sure.
you know.
Mm-hmm. Clean slate. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to.
Besides knowing that there's a mechanic like that,
Yeah,
but
I
yeah.
know it's there, but you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Yeah. But yeah, League.
League
Okay.
of Legends
Mm-hmm.
didn't even have gotcha. It was like you
Yeah.
played the game. So
Uh-huh.
okay, so they had a
And there
couple.
was some free characters available. I think it rotated each week, was it?
Yeah. So you could
And then obviously you could buy the
you could
characters
either
for
buy the
yourself.
characters or you could play games and then earn the
Mm-hmm.
right to buy them with in-game
Yeah.
currency. The
Mm-hmm.
problem I had with that
Mm-hmm.
was the first time I played one of my favorite characters, well, who is
Mm-hmm.
now my favorite characters, Wukong, was available for free to play. And I fucking love
Mm-hmm.
that character. Every other
Okay.
character that came out for free, I didn't like, or I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
as attached to, which made me playing the game really fucking difficult because I just didn't
Mm-hmm.
find these other characters to be appealing. So
Mm-hmm.
that puts me in a really fucked up spot, right? It's like I can suffer through playing this fucking video game for the next
Mm-hmm.
3 months.
As long as you have as to save up on the in-game currency to get the character that you want, or you'd have to shell out for the
I
character.
shelled out for the character. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep it
Mhm.
127% with you on that one. I shelled out for the fucking
Mhm.
character.
Yeah, and I think League is even a better example of gacha in terms of how it's done and how it's implemented and what you can do with it. Because with that one, yes, you have the random selections of free characters, but you can get the characters specifically that you want.
Yeah, I
With
think
gacha, with other gacha games, you don't have that. You have a complete randomness there, pretty much.
yeah, I think that might be it then.
Mm-hmm.
Cuz
Yeah.
I'm sitting there like racking my brain about it cuz I'm like obviously I'm not
Mm-hmm.
immune to the notion of opening up a pack and dopamine flooding my brain. Like
Mm-hmm.
obviously
Yeah.
that isn't the thing I have a problem with here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think with the cards, I mean, yeah, with Magic the Gathering, you need the cards to play. With Pokemon, yeah, depends if you play it like that, then yeah, definitely as well.
Yeah, no,
But
I played Magic the
each of
Gathering.
them
I didn't play
probably
Pokemon.
is. Mm-hmm. But with Magic the Gathering, how important is each card on average? Let's say, how important would it be to get a specific card for the game? How big is the impact on your gameplay?
Are you asking me, or is that
Mm-hmm.
rhetorical?
Now I'm asking because I don't have an overview on
Oh,
Magic the Gathering
oh,
in that regard.
I mean, I think that depends on the player.
Mm-hmm.
I have gone my time playing Magic the Gathering back when I was in junior high. There were a lot
Mm-hmm.
of times when I would open a pack, get
Mm-hmm.
a card, and be inspired to build a deck, or
Okay.
start
Mm-hmm.
working to build a deck off of a card, or start coming up with a theme based off
Mm-hmm.
of like a
Okay.
series of cards. And then, you might
Mm-hmm.
get lands once in a while, which are always decent to have if you're into deck building,
Mm-hmm.
because you're always gonna fucking need them anyway. So lands are
Mm-hmm.
always important. You might, like I said, theming. Maybe I know
Mm-hmm.
back then I built an entire deck based around barbarians and fire spells based on
Mm-hmm.
what I pulled out of booster packs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I bought that many, but I bought a lot of
Mm-hmm.
boosters. You don't understand.
Yeah, I think a big part is also with stuff like the cards. You have the cards, and that's it. In many gacha games, you have to then build up the characters that you unlock.
Yeah, you have to.
You can't just switch around the characters depending on how many you have and just continue playing like that. But there's also almost always additional things that you have to build up and take into account for. For
Yeah.
example, in Genshin, you have your characters, you have to level them up. You have to, if you get multiples, that improves the characters. You get additional skills through that. You need resources to level up the characters. You have to advance. You can advance them. You can get specific weapons for them. You can get artifacts that improve them, and so on and so on and so on. So
Because I
it's not just the characters themselves that you need.
because I won't. I'm not gonna lie to you when I
Mm-hmm.
say this. There are some of these gotcha games that like
Mm-hmm.
actually interest me, like
Mm-hmm.
just visually or just theming wise. That I'm like, oh, that looks
Mm-hmm.
cool.
For
But
example.
uh, kind of Genshin. Sometimes Genshin
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
kind of has me like, oh, I kind of want to try it. Like I want to try it, right? But I'm like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but when
eh.
you see a trailer for a new version, you see a character that might interest you, but then when you think about playing it, you have no idea if you'll actually get that character.
Yeah, it's
Mm, yeah, I get it.
yeah, it's like that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know, man. Maybe old age now just has me being like, I've already dedicated all this time to stuff like 14. How willing am I to like dedicate
And, no,
more time to
I get that.
something,
The
more
time,
time.
yeah, the time investment to play the game in a good way and an optimal way is definitely something to account for, which uh, the game design definitely wants you to
Yeah,
keep playing and all.
and
Yeah.
that's kind of crazy. Like, cause my thing is like I get like game design. Like I don't. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I'm not a game designer, but I
Mm-hmm.
understand the concept of like our game needs to keep people attached to our game for as
Mm-hmm.
long as fucking possible. We need them
Mm-hmm.
playing and engaging with our game, buying shit in our game. Like
Mm-hmm.
that part, I'm like,
Yeah.
that's just good business. It's the same reason
Mm-hmm.
why I don't know. A fucking retail store might have really, really nice policies on returns because they know
Mm-hmm.
if they can give you a good reason to not be angry with them, that's a good
Yep.
reason why you'll come back.
Mm-hmm.
I get it.
Yep. And you'll optimally buy from them again, even something that you're not quite sure of if you need it
Yeah.
or if you like that specific thing, because you know, okay, if I get it here, I have problems with it, then I can easily get it returned and take the other one, for example.
Yeah. So I
Yeah,
get it.
I get it.
I
And Genshin isn't even one of the worst offenders in that regard, in terms of keeping that playing, because you have specific limits of what you can do each day or week or whatever.
yeah, that's
And
also
beyond that, it limits the usefulness of just grinding stuff.
see that also like turns me off
Hmm.
though. Like that idea of like
Hmm.
limiting gameplay. I don't that
It's not especially limiting gameplay. It's limiting how much time is required to get the daily stuff done. It
oh.
and it doesn't get you in the trap of, okay, you had X runs in this thing, now you could pay to do more. That it doesn't allow that.
Oh.
It doesn't get you in the money trap in that regard.
Oh, thank God for that.
Mm. I
And
mean, obviously, there's still the possible money trap of getting more gacha pulls and all of that. But at
yeah,
least in that regard, gameplay design wise, it limits itself, which is was a nice surprise when I heard about that.
yeah, I have a buddy
But
of
yeah.
mine who has who's devoted quite a bit of resources into Genshin. And when I
Mm-hmm.
asked him about it, he's like, my best piece of advice for you, Rezo, just don't. I'm like,
Don't.
what? He's like, don't. I'm like at all?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, no, dude, don't. He's like,
Don't
look,
even start.
he's like, just don't, man. Like,
Uh-huh.
you know, there's healthy habits, unhealthy habits, and then there's Genshin. Don't do it. Don't do it. Be smart.
Mm-hmm.
I wish. I wish.
Mm-hmm.
As always, everybody, our show can be found on a variety of platforms such as Apple, Google, and Spotify, and also in video format on our YouTube channel, Turn Based Cynics, every single Sunday. Unless there wasn't a show and I forgot to tell everybody, then yeah, then there's not going to be a show there. That's how you know that that wasn't me. I fucked up. That was something else that happened. That wasn't me. I didn't. I mean, I fucked that up, but you, point is, if I had to fuck that up, there would have been a show. That's all I'm saying. As always, everybody, hope you all have a fantastic week and continue playing fun, interesting video games, or argue about Forspoken on the fucking Twitter net. Jesus Christ. Y'all need
Just play more enjoyable games.
yeah, like y'all need to pick a better hill to die on, folks. Damn. I said it, bro. When I talked about when I played the demo, what did I say? This game's kind of cool. I just wish the main character would shut the fuck up. Like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and y'all laughed because y'all was like, "Oh, that Rezo being Rezo again. Oh, that silly scamp. He's just being Rezo." No, she needs to shut the fuck up. I'm not interested. She's insufferable. This is. I mean, I won't say she's Velma insufferable. That's
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, I went there. Yeah. Yeah, I went there. She's not Velma insufferable, but I feel like if you hit Velma levels of insufferable, what do you do? What do you? I don't. I think this, like, obviously, clearly, we're all wrong about Velma. It's one of the highest rated shows on HBO Max. So who the fuck are we to talk about it?
Yeah.
Yeah, HBO. It probably is the highest rated show you have when you haven't
I
had
mean,
anything new in a
most
bit.
watched, maybe. Yeah.
Most hits, maybe.
Highest rated. It's certainly not best reviewed.
Yeah, well, what do reviewers know, anyways, right? It's we don't understand their vision. We don't understand the vision of the show, so to speak. In any case, everybody, have a fantastic week, and don't watch Velma.
See ya.
Don't have a good one. All right.